posting just to post, that is going to be out in 2024. That strategy worked really effectively in 2019 and kind of the years prior, but ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of the Walk Thru, the most underrated, valuable marketing podcast in real estate history. I am 𝐌𝐸𝐬𝐚𝐢𝐤, aka the Broke Agent, aka Dr. Klickstein. Happy New Year, everyone. 2024 is officially behind us. The settlement, the changes that create a lot of drama and uncertainty last year. But I do have a good feeling about 2025, a possible tailwind behind us, which is about time. And as you can see, I am solo today, and I am also not in my usual location because I am moving on January 4th, where I will officially have a studio with amazing lighting, mic setup, and everything. So that'll be an amazing start to the new year. But you will also notice that my co-host, Jason Cassidy, is not here. And the reason for that is very simple. We actually got in a huge fight over the holidays, and we are no longer talking because he sent me 6 picks on New Year's Eve. College basketball, college football, all of which were absolute losers, including saying that Oregon was the lock of the year. And that game was actually over by the first quarter. So thank you, Jason. You are officially off the show. And I'm currently looking for a new co-host. Of course, I am kidding. Not about the picks, but about Jason not being the co-host. He will be back as a regularly scheduled program on January 9th with Jason, myself, and guests as everyone settles back into their routines. But I did want to hop on here today for kind of an emergency episode, a solo, me and you, the people, because it is the new year. And I have 3 topics that I have to discuss. Number 1 being January content ideas. We do this at the first of every single month. What to post this year, specifically this month in January. And number 2, what not to post in 2020-25. What content strategy to leave behind in 2024. And then I'm going to finish it off with Marketer of the Week. So if you are glad that we are back, if you are glad that it is the new year, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, because that will keep us relevant and keep us popping up in your YouTube algorithm. Okay, so number 1 topic, it is January of 2025, but I do want to do a little quick recap on the content landscape of 2024, because a lot went on social media wise on all of these platforms. First, collab reels flourished and gave users the best chance to get in front of new audiences and grow on Instagram. I would keep hammering collab reels this year, whether it's with your brokerage account, whether it's with other agents, whether it's with local businesses. The more you could collab on Instagram, I think you can do it with up to 5 accounts now, the better. It's great for exposure. It helps your content pop into other people's feeds. That's by far one of the best ways to grow in 2024 and will continue in 2025. ChatGPT, any AI, Midjourney became essential for content creation last year. If you're not using ChatGPT this year, at the very least, to brainstorm content ideas, you are missing out. How do you think I come up with these January content ideas? I don't conjure them up in my brain every single month. That would be completely impossible. I type in January content ideas for real estate agents, and then I get a list of 15, and then I just regurgitate them to you on this podcast. TikTok might get banned again unless Trump blocks that from happening. So that's just another kind of warning sign that if you go all in on one social platform, that could be a major problem for you, because if you went all in on TikTok and then they ban it and you didn't grow on Instagram or Facebook or your email list or your YouTube channel, then you're very susceptible to something like this happening. So 2025, make sure that you are growing on all platforms. Community focus became super important as creators, agents, and brands opened up their own Facebook communities or Discords or schools. I saw Sharon, president of Real, just opened up a school that already has like 5,000 members. So anytime you can digitize your followings, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, and then you turn them into an actual community where your community is engaging with each other, I think that could be really effective for your brand. I know creators like Shannon Gillette, they have a clients only Facebook group, so their clients could actually talk to each other. And Shannon is kind of the congregating principle around that Facebook group. So I do recommend doing that in 2025. Carousel posts were obviously huge in 2024. I got more engagement on carousel posts than I did on Instagram Reels because there's such an oversaturation of Instagram Reels. It's very important to break up your feed. You don't want to reel every single time. You obviously want to switch it up with general feed posts and carousels, and make sure you put on music. They allowed that ability in 2024 to add audio to your carousel reels, and that really helps your engagement as long as the music has some sort of affiliation with the actual content. 2024 was definitely the year of the bait and switch trend hook on Instagram, where someone would roll out of a car, pop up and show their listing, or get hit in the head with a bottle. It was really effective to hook people in. I do feel like that trend will not exist in 2025 just because trends do eventually die. And I think we've all become accustomed to that sort of post now. And you almost feel let down after it, because who wants to see a real estate agent after someone just gets hit in the head with a bottle? Broadcast channels became one of the best ways to connect instantly with your Instagram community. We have one on the Broke Agent. We have an events channel on our BAM Instagram. So if you are a real estate agent, I highly recommend creating a broadcast channel, because then you could send direct DMs to your followers. They can't respond, but it's kind of like a Telegram group where you could maybe do, housing market updates where you could send individual videos, audios, pictures, or texts to people's DMs. And it's way more effective than adding a link or anything to your story. AI's integration on everything in 2024. It's going to be exciting and overwhelming. It was last year, will be this year. And small businesses and creators focused on hyper local content. That was the name of the game in 2024. There's a reason why we had creators like 𝐌𝐨𝐬𝐚𝐢𝐤 on multiple times, because she's just crushing the hyper local content. There you go. It's January, and I've already mentioned her name. Congratulations, Alyssa. Nothing's going to change this year. All right, so let's get into some content ideas for 2025. Haley, how am I doing over here on this solo episode? Is it psychotic? Is this making sense?
No, you're good.
All right, good. We had to have Haley, our producer, on, so it looks like I'm actually conversing with someone, because I was just doing the solo and I felt like a complete psychopath. Let me know in the comments how you think I'm doing on this solo episode. All right, so I'm going to get into January content ideas. Obviously, yesterday was New Year's Day, and basically from this week, you have a few more days to do sort of prediction content. Those are always super engaging. These are my predictions for insert your local market in 2025. I would obviously avoid, mortgage rate predictions, because they're almost always wrong, and you're just setting yourself up for disaster. So you could always mix in some fun non-real estate predictions, like, here are my predictions for the Tucson housing market, and then you give your predictions, and then it's like, these are my predictions for who's going to win the Super Bowl, or the next viral trend, or design trends in housing, or which streaming show like Squid Game or something will dominate in 2025. So it's not just real estate based, and you could get more comments based off of stuff that's kind of more mainstream. Or you could do the exact opposite and say, here are 5 things that definitely won't happen in 2025. Anytime you do a negative hook like that, like the title for this video, for example, here's what not to post in 2025, that creates so much more FOMO than here's what you should post in 2025. So try to do some more kind of negative opposite hooks and titles for your YouTubes, your thumbnails, and also for your Instagram posts. Resolution ideas. Post your 2025 resolutions and share what you learned and failed in your 2024 resolutions. I think I've seen a lot of effective posts where people just post on their notes app on their phone and say, with the check boxes of here's what I did, here's what I didn't do. And I think that's a little bit more relatable than just saying, I sold $100 million worth of real estate. I posted 10,000 times on Instagram. I did this. Like, people understand the success, but they almost relate more with the fact that you didn't reach a lot of your goals. And it's just a little bit more engaging to show that vulnerability. So you could do your real estate goals, your sales, your recruitment, your content plans, your personal aspirations, fitness, hobbies, or time management, or you could just post a vision board or something. Again, try that in the notes app. Ins and outs list for 2025. I did a post on the Broke Agent about what's in and what's out for this year. That always gets a lot of engagement, kind of similar to your prediction posts. You could reflect on real estate trends, pop culture, personal goals. So, for example, like what's in certain paint colors, design trends, particular types of kitchens, architecture, digital detoxes, local adventures. I don't know. This is all ChatGPT bullshit. What's out? Maximalist, cult clutter, fad, diets. I literally have no idea, but what's in, what's out. I think that's good content. And then storytelling. Tell a memorable story from 2024. You still have this week to do this. What was your biggest lesson learned? Your most surprising moment? Focus on something that's kind of more problem solving oriented or a unique client story for maximum impact. And then, of course, there's some jokes. Are you going to do dry January? Of course not, because you're a real estate agent. It's a memification post, but really people aren't going to get into their routines until next week. It's still kind of that awkward time, Christmas, New Year's, plus this week. It feels like every day is Sunday right now. So if you do have a big announcement, maybe you're switching brokerages for the 15th time in 2 years, or you have a new listing or some sort of new content strategy that you want to start, I would not start that until next week, preferably on Tuesday or Wednesday, because that's when people are going to really start to tune in again. January 15th, National Bagel Day. Last week we had National Have a Bagel Day, but you could do National Bagel Day on January 15th and talk about your favorite bagel shop and insert your local market. January 20th is MLK Day. January 23rd is National Pie Day. I don't know, go drop off pies at your clients' houses. I don't know. Again, I'm reaching for straws here in January. It's mostly prediction content and your usual post promoting your listings and your real estate business. January 25th is Opposite Day. Bringing me back to when I was in 5th grade. If you want to post about Opposite Day, you could start with a hook that is the opposite of something you're going to say. For example, you should never buy a house in this location, and then talk about why you actually should buy a house in your local market. Or here are 5 things I hate about selling real estate, and then it's 5 things that you actually like. My final thoughts in January is this year, you should definitely write yourself a little prescription, right? I just did a post about this on BAM at the end of December, and I always talk about this. You should kind of break down your content strategy into quarters. And this was extremely effective to me when I was growing the broke agent account, kind of, mid-pandemic, 2020, 2021, where I said every single day I'm doing 2 or 3 feed posts. I'm posting 5 to 8 times on my Instagram story, and I'm uploading that same content on Facebook and Twitter. And I grew exponentially just because I told myself I am operating as a media company even before we were actually a media company. So the best thing that I would do if I were you is just make a little prescription, write it down on your notes app on your phone or vision board or however the hell you manifest things, and give yourself the prescription. Maybe it's 3 to 5 Instagram posts per week. It's 1 Instagram story per day. It's 1 email newsletter per week. And it's 1 YouTube video per week. That's all very doable, all very manageable. Meta recommends only posting 3 to 5 times per week anyway. It's all going to be about quality over quantity this year in 2025. So write yourself that prescription. I'm going to say that for the 50th time, and evaluate how you did after the first quarter. And if it sucked, then change it up. Maybe you increase the posting strategy. Maybe you change what sort of content you were posting, but make sure you write that down, because that's actually going to force you to post as opposed to just doing it as you come up with the content. All right, topic number 3, social media trends to leave in 2024, what not to post in 2025. There you go. The negative title, the negative thumbnail. That's why you clicked on this video, and now you are getting that content. Make sure you do that in 2025. Overly polished content. I've been saying this for a while now, but it feels like the highly edited, the talking head style reels are not connecting with audiences the way they did in 2022, 2023. Think about how you like to consume social media. Would you rather watch an agent in a podcast studio, or content like this on Instagram pontificating about the market, or would you rather see something more organic? So I recommend doing a lot more spontaneous content, like walk and talk reels or kind of off the cuff car videos. Those seem to be consistently performing better for short form clips, because audience prefer content that feels like they're catching you in a genuine moment rather than watching something that's overly scripted. Because when you're overly scripted or you're talking to the camera, you're clearly creating content to create content. Now, I know that sounds kind of odd, but it feels better or more organic when you just whip out your phone and you have a thought and you share your opinion on your phone right there, as opposed to some pre-rehearsed, highly edited scripted piece of content, just because we've seen so much of that, so many podcast clips and everything. I'm one to talk the last 3 years that I just think that the way people like to consume content on Instagram is becoming a lot more organic, which is good because then you don't have to spend an enormous amount of time in an expensive studio and filming all this content where you could just whip out your phone. Show your audience what you're talking about in 2025. Proof over promise. Neil Dinger talks about this. Sharon talks about this. I've been talking about this a lot. Anytime you could show something, whether it's with a notepad or a whiteboard behind you, or you're actually showing the examples of, hey, this listing got 10,000 clicks on Zillow, or this video got 50,000 views. Here's exactly what I did. And you can show that in the video. That will perform way better than just saying, we got 10 offers over ask. Show the piles of actual offers. I think that's going to be a lot more effective this year. Again, those crazy hook transitions that I mentioned, they were super effective, the bait and switch hooks in 2024. I just think that this year we're going to see less and less of those because, like I said, trends go to die and people kind of get exhausted with a specific type of content. Posting just to post, that is going to be out in 2024. That strategy worked really effectively in 2019 and kind of the years prior, but the algorithm no longer rewards quantity over quantity. If you post more frequently, it's probably going to increase your reach simply due to the number of at bats that you get. But, just posting just to say, hey, I posted something today is going to do you, I think, more harm than good, because those posts are going to be less quality and people aren't going to want to consume future content because they see, all right, this person posted 14 times this week, but it's all templated or it's all just carousel posts of your listings, or it's kind of lowbrow content. That's just not going to work this year because the AI algorithms are already so incredibly advanced and they're serving your content to the right audience, instead of just your followers anyway. So it's quality over quantity. And you should be focusing on 3 elements with every single post. That's grabbing attention with a compelling hook to pull viewers in. Then you keep them engaged throughout the entire post because retention is key. And then you deliver a strong call to action to encourage a meaningful interaction, which brings me to my next point of pointless calls to action. How about that transition right there? Speaking of CTAs, avoid generic or uninspired ones like comment if you agree or share this with a friend. Instead, give your audience a clear and specific reason to engage. What's your favorite feature of the home? Or which room would you want as your own? Something very specific. Or if you're using a mini chat bot, comment the word listing, comment the word Tucson, comment the word this. That's a specific call to action. You can't just say, share this video. Whoever takes that direction when you're watching a video and someone just says, share this, you're going to be like, oh, okay, perfect. I'm going to post it to my story now and share it to people because this idiot told me to share it. Or someone says, leave a like, leave a comment. That does absolutely nothing. In fact, I would say that actually hurts your videos. Next is too much text on reels or posts. When creating a social post, ask yourself, would I want to read this? Avoid cluttering Instagram Reels with too much text or making the text too small or difficult to read. If your audience can't understand the message in under a second, it needs reformatting. The best content is often the simplest. When I create a meme, I make sure, can the person reading this meme understand it within an instant of reading it? If they can't, they will scroll by. You should never have someone stress or the text be too strenuous on someone where they're trying to comprehend it and they can't. That will be a disaster for your content. So the less text, the simpler the text, the better. What I always do is I just go on ChatGPT, I copy paste whatever caption I was thinking of, and I just say, make this more grammatically correct and shorten it. And ChatGPT spits it out every time. I do that for our YouTube videos, our email thumbnails, our meme text, and everything that I post on Instagram, basically. The less text, the better on the actual post. In the caption, it's okay to have longer text because you do want those keywords. And that's another thing I want to say. In 2025, the more keywords that you could use, the better, whether it's in your caption or it's in your comments. If you are in Santa Monica, you want to use words like Santa Monica, like house, like real estate to actually get your post to pop up more in SEO, because more and more people are using Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook to search than ever before. Like very rarely am I going on Google now. I go on TikTok and I search, best restaurants in Brentwood. Or if I want to search real estate content, I don't go on Google. I go on Instagram and I scroll and I type that in. and I search. So that was what not to post in 2024 and the trends to look out for in 2025. And Haley, it would not be a walkthrough, even though this is a special edition, a solo episode, a New Year episode. It would not be the walkthrough without Marketer of the Week. And I just saw an announcement video by Chris Benjamin, and it almost brought tears to my eyes. So this one definitely pulls at your heartstrings. It's a great piece of content, and congratulations to Chris. Watch this announcement video. It's not what you think.
That ain't how I'm treasuring so much you got, 'cause I want it all. With your fingers in my mouth, they'll see you fall. So please don't let me fall. So please don't let me fall. And I think we survive in the wild. Pretty plants and roots and dream about electric fans. Baby, could you kill our man? Could you look in his eyes and feel the fire drain out of his hand?
So congratulations there to Chris. He had the note section, not on his phone, but an actual notepad crossing off the goals that he did not achieve in 2024. Just what I was talking about, but a goal, raising one kid, and then it got crossed off, raising two kids. So congratulations to Chris and his wife and their family of 3, now becoming a family of 4. We love Chris. He's a BAM creator. He's one of the most talented agents on Instagram and just as an agent himself. Super happy for him. And also, Haley, a little proof over promise there. Not just saying they're having a kid. They actually showed proof of the baby in the womb. Oh, whatever. Great video by Chris right there. By the way, in 2025, if you do want to make a difference in your content marketing, here's what you got to do. If you want to stand out from the crowd, Reminder Media is a resource you have to check out. You get your own branded print and digital magazines, email newsletters, and social media content. Reminder Media delivers these resources to your contacts on autopilot, keeping you top of mind with your database. All you got to do is focus on your follow-up calls and watch referrals and repeat business come in. Use the link below to check out Reminder Media. That's the episode right there. A quick little special episode on New Year's. Happy New Year's, everyone. Next episode, I will be in a studio in my new apartment in Playa Vista with amazing lighting, with a great camera, with soundproof cubicles, with an amazing backdrop of BAM keys and BAM merchandise. I am very excited for this year. And again, if you want to have a great year in content, write yourself a little prescription. Write it out what you're going to do this quarter, and you will crush it in 2025. Thank you. Happy New Year. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel.